Non ce l'ho. Non ce l'ho.
Sono punti che mi mancano.
Beh, so 8 euro, erano 8 euro. Vabbè, sti cazzi.
Con quei punti io faccio delle ricariche regolari. Quindi l'ho preso io ieri. Bello.
Right, so I'm gonna let this cook for a while. I'm trying to do two different experiments. This one, I kind of already made it a few days ago, with different cuts of meat, I'll be honest, but I think they were pretty similar in terms of fat content. Then we got some leaner cuts, and I wanna see if the taste is like, if they cook the same. These also are very, very soft compared to these ones, so they're gonna take less time. I also didn't wanna feed them all in one pan, in one pot, because I wanted to differentiate and test out different approaches. Okay, if I do it with just that lean cut of meat, it's gonna be as umami as the other one. Just trying out new shit, and yeah, so I'm gonna wait a longest time. So I'm also waiting for these to start to melt the fat, because I also wanna put some fat in this as well, because there is gonna be way too much fat, like in my experience, into this pot. At least in my experience, maybe it's not gonna be the same this time, but yeah, I'm gonna let, like, slowly the water will evaporate and only the fat will remain. And yes, I'm just gonna leave that cooking for a long while without too much water, and towards the end or towards the middle I will actually go ahead and add the rest of the broth, which is not much anyway. So this is the time now. As you can see, it's 1 p.m. Kidding, was the timer. This is 10:49. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so just 1 hour has passed, and it is tender already. But I can let it cook even more. This has to melt away a lot more, like it is not even close, so I'm gonna let this here. Alright, actually, let me try that. Yeah, that's simple and clean. So yeah, honestly, I wanna just try and cook it even more. I wanna see where it goes. Experimentation. Thank you for watching. See you in a little bit again. That's the time now. About 45 minutes passed, and there is no more broth here. This is so damn soft. Oh. Look at that. There was a little amount of collagen. Wow, it cooked to this like perfect point where it's like it's fucking glue. It feels like glue. It's fucking crazy. Damn, looks amazing. Be aware, like if you let this cook even long, like 30, like 1 hour more, it will probably have some burnt aftertaste. So I just got here just in time. Actually, my father called me, and yeah, I mean, it looks good. Now I'll do something, which is scrape down the brown bottom of the pan with some bone broth, sorry, with some beef broth, but any liquid to be honest. It's very nice. Also very dry, which I will fix by adding the broth there. Yeah. Unexpected conclusions. I didn't think it would brown because I thought there was no fat to do the Maillard reaction with. Apparently you don't need much of it. I think it's better with the fat, less burning potential, but let's see the other pan. So we're starting to get just the fat, which is not bad. The bone detaches from the meat, as you can see. Doesn't mean it's ready though. Like the bone can detach from the meat. Again, it doesn't mean it's ready. As you can see, the meat is still tough, kind of. Like, it's softer than before, but it's not completely melted. I like it melted. I don't like the collagen fucking holding together the meat. I want it to be gone, so I'm gonna cook it even more. The bone detaches, yeah, you can eat that, I guess, but not my shit. So I'm gonna, as you can see, there is a lot of fat. I'm gonna cook this in the fat itself. This kind of it is not boiling. I'm not trying to boil the meat. It's a different cooking method. I don't know the name in English, honestly. I just cook it with a little water. It cooks in its own juices, and when its own juices evaporate, which is the case, which is happening now, that will evaporate eventually, because at the end of the day, juices are just water. You can add water just from a fucking tap, like tap water. You can add broth, which is water mainly, like 99% water. You can add nothing, and you can just use the water present in the meat, and that's its own juices. Okay, it's just water. Meat is made up of water, like 60% of it at least, usually. So you can choose to use the water inside the meat, but once that evaporates, just the fat remains, and you can let it cook in its own fat. Basically, it kind of slowly fry, not like high temperature, but it's like, yeah, that's a method. And once it is cooked enough, and I think it's about to burn, which is hard because it's not easy to burn food as much as you believe it is, I'm gonna add some broth just to make it a little bit lighter and have some sauce to go with. Okay, because like pure fat is not sauce. That's not like doesn't make it very wet. It just makes it very tasty, I guess, and very heavy. I like to add some broth because it adds umami, and some water, just to make it fucking have some liquid to go with it. I know how to explain it, but you'll see that at the end. So yeah, at the moment I will not add broth. I will let this cook in its own steam, because there is still some steam, like some water, and its own fat. I'm gonna let that cook for a long while, and check on it in a few hours, and maybe then I'll add some broth. Maybe just a splash. Okay. Well, this one we are gonna deglaze, is the term. Deglaze the bottom, if I can. Heat it up a little bit, let the water soak. As you can see, we got almost. Fuck. Okay, slowly but surely. My dad is cooking some chicken. Che cucini?
Petto di pollo alla costiera.
That's my father's best recipe.
Ricetta napoletana.
Sì? Napoletano?
Insomma, del sud, via.
Dove? Okay, as you can see, we got rid of the bottom, the almost burned bottom, and we did two good things. One, we cleaned the pan because it would have been a fucking hassle to scrape all of that with a metal sponge. Also, we made this very delightful, very umami sauce. I'm gonna actually taste it for you. Yeah, man, it's so savory. Holy fuck. Honestly, maybe a little bit. Tastes a little bit burnt. Yeah, tastes a little bit burnt. Maybe I could have done this sooner, but not that much, and that's great. Alright, so if you wanna thicken it, you can use any starch. You can drop some starch in it, and it will literally thicken. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's delicious. Let me try that. Look at that. Assaggi, babbo. Com'è?
Troppo secca.
He said it's too dry. It makes sense because he didn't. I mean, I like it. It's pure protein, but for some people like my dad, it's too dry. Why? Because I let all the water evaporate and there is no fat. This was a very lean cut of meat, so there was no fat, and that's a downside of not having any fat in meat. Once all of the water evaporates, you are left with no fat. Fat doesn't evaporate, okay? It doesn't fucking evaporate at room like on a pan. I mean, it does, but no. So when you use lean cuts of meat, yeah, it's very dry. That's why even chicken, if you buy roastery chicken, the best parts are the thigh and the wing because there is a lot of fat in it. There is not a lot of fat in the fucking breast and in any cut of meat which is lean like this one. So my father said it's dry. È asciutto perché non c'è molto, dicevo, non c'è molto grasso e
No, perché quella era una carne.
è asciutta, cioè non c'è.
Non era per fare questo.
No. Ma mi piace comunque, non è male. Se mia mamma piace così.
Come?
Se mia mamma piace questo.
Senti, mi serve un po' di spazio. Dove te lo metto questa roba?
So I'll have this cook for longer now. I'll let this cook for a while. Hopefully it will fry and create even more umami in the pan. And yeah, now it's 12. It's noon. No, it's not noon. It's like 12 p.m. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so about 1 hour passed, I don't fucking know. Also, I wanna let you know that I lowered the heat to 3. I don't know why I had it to 4. And I also added some broth because it was finished and I didn't want it to burn. And I also had the power to 4, which was a little bit higher than usual. So here is how it's going. I added the broth, I don't know how much time ago, but a bit ago. And yeah, it's very fucking soft now. Look at that. These pieces are the last to, like this piece here, they're the last things to cook properly, so I'll let them cook for a while. Like this piece is not fully dissolved yet, but overall I think it's ready to eat. I'm gonna taste it actually. A few notes, sorry for speaking in your mouth, but a few notes is that today I wanted to try and not use salt, or if you like use minimal salt, not because I hate salt and I wanna do low sodium, not because last time I tried making this meal, it was very salty, honestly. Not too much, it was acceptable, but I wanted to try and taste the difference between a meal that is just salty and tastes good and a meal that is very umami and savory. Okay, I want to see how I can make something very umami without using salt. Okay, salt by itself is not umami. It is a flavor enhancer, but it means like it fucking makes the thing better. But it's not umami. Okay, it's not savory. Salt itself, it can increase the perception of savoriness because they're just so overlapping of concepts, like they're often misunderstood and put together as one thing. Yeah, savoriness is like saltiness and umami. To be honest, when I say umami, I just mean the monosodium glutamate. What? MSG. Well, I guessed it. What the fuck? Yeah. So I was trying to achieve that. I didn't want to use too much salt. That's why. Because the broth would be very umami. Okay. So this was the leaner cut of meat. This was Man, what the fuck? So, interestingly, this here costed me like 14. It usually costs 18 euros per kilogram here in Italy. 18, okay? This is like 10 or 8 euros per fucking kilogram. And this one tastes better. A lot better. This one is like, you know what? They're both fucking great. But for the price I paid it, it's probably even better, like, crazy. This is fucking amazing, man. I discovered this way of cooking literally fucking a week ago. By chance, I made it, like, I invented my own recipe because I wanted to recreate, as I mentioned in the last video, I wanted to recreate a thing I ate at a Christmas dinner with my family, lunch actually. This like big function I had, and it was tasty. It was fucking tasty. It was lamb. Last time I wasn't remembering how to say the agnello in English, but I remembered it, and it was lamb. It was like this kind of stewed lamb, but it wasn't like stewed. It wasn't like boiled in water with a lot of water. It was just, I don't know, very soft, as if it was boiled, but it was very savory, as if it was roasted. And that's what this cooking method is about. In Italian it is called arrosto morto. Arrosto means roasted, okay? And morto means dead. Yeah, like dead, died. I don't know why it's called like that. But basically it's a mix between stews and roasting, which gets the best of both of them, because like you're stewing something, so it's very fucking soft. I think it's I have no doubt that stewing something is the best way, or steaming it is the best way to like make something soft and have the best fucking texture ever. And I'm sure that roasting, or at least frying, yeah, probably frying is the more correct word, is the best way to give it umami. And this is like the mix, like gets the best of both methods. Okay, you're getting it very soft and very umami by roasting it. Basically, by having a little water, you enable this thing to get to the right temperatures to get the fucking Maillard reaction happen, which is the browning. Okay, the reason this is browning is because there is not much water. It's so fucking soft, man. My god, I love this. Yeah, I let this cook even more, but it's completely great to eat like that. I will eat this like that, but wanna let all of the other things melt even more because I'm a fucking psychopath. And yeah, see you in a bit. I hope you like the explanation. By the way, if you have any question about this cooking method and this idea, I'm not recording these videos to educate anymore. I'm honestly just doing this for the habit of recording. I just got into the habit of recording whatever the fuck I cook. But I'm sure some people will get some education out of it, I guess. I try to do it every once in a while. If you look at my older videos, I have a playlist actually on my channel which is called like cooking education, and there I explain what I do and I explain why I do it. Lately I've just not been doing that. Okay, I just record and I post because it's better than nothing, I guess. But I don't explain much. So if you have any question about this stuff, feel free to ask me in the comments. Maybe I can make a separate video, or I can just reply to you in the comments. Just let me know any question about this method, why it works. If you're curious about something, I love explaining stuff to the best of my abilities when I can, at least. So yeah, let me know if you got any questions. I'll wait some more time and I'll do, I think, a final clip to showcase the taste. Okay, so see you in a bit. This is the time now. Alright, so I waited a little bit more. I didn't want to do anything because I turned off the heat. I added some broth. Right after the clip I realized while I was recording all of the water evaporated, so I added the last remaining drops of broth. And yeah, I just turned off the heat and see how it's going. I wanted to let it cool down. Damn. The smell is amazing. I would like to add some more broth because it's there is a lot of fat, like it's mainly fat now, so even the broth I added kind of evaporated. There is still some, but it's mainly fat. And I know people will appreciate this more if there is more broth and less fat. Let's try the leaner piece. Nice, very fatty. Let's try this more kind of burnt piece, which was very cheap. Quite nice. Probably I did a couple of mistakes during this cooking session. For example, I let some of the pieces cook a lot more. I didn't add broth soon enough, so some of these pieces, as you can see, are very like not burnt but very cooked. They don't taste bad necessarily, but they are drier than usual, so that's probably a mistake I made. And if I could go back in time, I probably would have added more broth. As a general rule of thumb, try not to leave zero water for too long. Okay, just try to always add some broth when there is too little, and when there is too much, don't add any. So that is that piece. Let's try some other tasty looking piece of meat. Okay, this looks interesting. So this is from the cheap cut of meat. Very straightforward meat, nice. And this is again the cheap cut of meat, closer to the bone though. Let's see how this tastes. It's very fatty by itself. Let's also taste the chicken, lemon chicken. Let's try a small piece. It's very nice. It's actually very good. I loved it. It's like, it's not like strong, it's very bland, and in a good way though. Like the lemon adds that acidity that's just so refreshing. So love that. We got a lot of meat today. I'm happy about that. I'm slowly influencing my family, I think, to eat more meat. Maybe, I'm not sure, but hopefully I am. And we'll have lunch together with my mom on the other room, who doesn't want to be really recorded often, so I'm not gonna have her taste on camera. And yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know if you got any questions or any curiosity you want to satisfy, and see you next time. Bye bye.